Okay, day 14. Today we are talking about how to organize our heat embossing supplies. A couple years ago, I decided I wanted to get this area a little bit more user-friendly, I guess. And so I am using the IKEA Kallax shelves, the 2x2, and I'm calling this my heat embossing station. And one of the things that I've done is gotten one of these glass mats. And I know you can use these for a variety of different reasons, but I have found it really helpful to just sort of make it the place where we do heat embossing. So check those out if you haven't seen a glass mat before. It actually comes with this little rubber silicone thing that sticks to it, and you can use the different compartments to put like ink pads in there, or you can do some mixed media with paste or ink re-inkers, but I just leave mine sitting over here. I also include the Versamark because that is a key staple that you'll need with heat embossing. The other thing you'll need would be the heat tools, and I have two, the newer version and an older version, just sitting over here. Another thing I would recommend is just having like a little cup that you can put in various supplies. So for example, a spoon is really helpful if you want to use that to scoop out the heat embossing powder. Sometimes you're going to need some tweezers so that you don't burn yourself. A lot of paint brushes so that you can brush away the heat embossing powder that is sticking in places that you don't want it to stick before you apply the heat. I also have a brayer over here, but I don't really use that with heat embossing, but I do recommend having one of those little caddies over there on the side. Now, Stampin' Up! Has recently started selling a heat embossing tray again. So I did get this kit. It comes with all of these supplies. So this is the tray so that as you're dumping the powder, you can make sure you try and keep it contained. It comes with one of those tweezers, like I mentioned. It comes with a paintbrush, which is essential, and then also an embossing buddy. And this is meant for you to wipe over the surface before you apply the Versamark and the heat powder, just to make sure that you are eliminating the static so that the powder doesn't stick in places that you don't want it to. So this caddy sits over here. And then in this drawer right here, I have labeled heat tool, and it has various supplies. So extra buddies, extra trays, extra Versamarks, different things like that. But my favorite way to store the powders is using, you probably recognize, this is a K-Cup Keurig rack, right? So this you can find at Goodwill all the time. Otherwise, you can buy it new on Amazon. Now, the trick here is that Stampin' Up! Actually doesn't sell different colored embossing powders anymore. The reason being is because you can just stamp in an ink, any color you want, and then pour clear embossing powder over top and heat set it, and it looks like you embossed with that ink's embossing powder. And so it basically eliminates the need to have all the different colors. Well, these I had beforehand, and so obviously I'm not going to get rid of them. And so I just kept basically what will fit on this rack. Now, one of the things that I did last time I did this organizing challenge was to cut out a circle using a circle punch so that you could see on the top what is in this caddy. Because the actual font, let's see if I can take it. Yeah, the actual font is so small and hard to read that it was hard to know what was in it when it was facing down, right? So this might be a way for you to make it easier, because that's the goal here. I'm all about trying to make things easy and functional so that when you go to craft, you're not getting frustrated trying to read really small print. Anyhow, those are some ideas on how I store my heat embossing supplies. Hope you can spend the day organizing yours, and I'd love to see some pictures.